Kaneko Lumi, the greatest thief in space. This gal is a literal star turned into a human, also known as Gliess 6667C. She is one to cause a mass amount of mischief, and she is aiming to collect all the valuable goodies. But what if Kaneko Lumi was a D&D character, and how do we create her? So, she's supposed to be a planet, and I mean, there's a way to do that, but it's not very realistic. But if you want to get crazy, Kaneko Lumi could be a genius loci. Pick a planet that you would want, and a genius loci basically takes the form of the land and surroundings, pretty much becoming a land that lives. This may seem a bit familiar if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think we should go for something a bit more her humanoid form. Since she is a planet and lore-wise was transformed into a human, I'm gonna assume a celestial is a close choice, though she is also a human, which I believe would make sense for her to be an Aasimar. These creatures are usually good aligned, and are the product of a human celestial being, such as an angel. Her racial traits are +2 wisdom and charisma. She also gains resistance 5 to acid, cold, and electricity. She's also known for being a bright light in the sky, so Aasimar also get the light spell to use once per day, and it actually kind of fits perfectly. Her race gets a +1 level adjustment to end it all off. Lumi is a sneak thief and loves shinies, so I think this class would be wonderful. The spell thief is a roguish type who can sneak quietly, cast magic, and even when possible, steal other magic caster spells and use them for herself. Lumi is supposed to be a space thief, so it would make sense that she is super familiar with all sorts of lands and unfamiliar places. For this, we want to take 6 levels of Horizon Walker, where she can learn terrains of hills, mountains, plains, deserts, and even underground areas like caves. And part of Horizon Walker is being able to learn a couple planar traits, which will take the weightless trait to get an extra 30 movement speed while flying on planes that have no gravity. And finally, we take 3 levels of Magical Trickster, which she learns some skill tricks, ocular spell meta magic, as well as meta magic trick, which makes it so that meta magic doesn't cost extra to cast spells. And then, she gains Tricky Spell. Anytime she uses a skill trick in a round, she increases the DC of a spell by 1. It's a lot to go over, and Lumi has a lot of potential to be the greatest thief possible. But let's look at her feats next. If we want Lumi to be the best, gotta give her some feats like Deft Hands and Skill Focus and Sleight of Hand for the best pickpocketing skills, and with the Run feat, run speed will be increased as well, from 4 times to 5 times the speed. Plus she gains +4 on running jumps on top of it all. The Endurance feat will help her continue going even when she should be tired. Dodge and Combat Acrobat for fun ways to deal with tough terrain, such as mud, lava, and even entanglement spells. She gains 4 epic feats, which are Arcane Thesis, to power up her spells. Spring Attack, Bounded Assault, and Rapid Blitz will make it so that she's able to make melee attacks against enemies and not be hit by them. Lumi will be a super fast individual, able to strike foes and run away with no problem. She will be able to steal from pockets with amazing ease as well. As for skills, she gains 256 points to spend. Firstly, we need to spend a couple on skill tricks to gain access to the Magical Trickster class. Each costs 2 points each, so we could buy 3 easily. First will be around level 9 called Acrobatics Backstab, using the tumble ability to flip over or perhaps slide under enemies, do some cool sneak attacks. Assume Quirk is a disguise trick to help her make herself less suspicious. And lastly, Conceal Spellcasting. She can cast spells without being noticed, and because it is a sleight of hand check, our previous feats will help out with this. So Lumi will be able to cast spells secretly without anyone's knowledge. Now, we want Sleight of Hand to be the highest since she has a couple abilities that will use this skill. Tumbling is always useful to get through enemies and all sorts of fun activities. Concentration is a must to make sure she doesn't lose her spells if she gets hit. Everything else is the normal roguelike skills that you need to survive. Spellcraft is low, and Bluff is going to be low as well. Can't quite max everything out, but we can try to get the important ones first. Now, we have to pick some good spells, and here's some that I think will do the trick. The important ones are Haste, Accelerated Movement, Expeditious Retreat, and Fly Swift for multiple ways to get away from potential dangers. Mage Armor Greater for wonderful defense, Dispel Ward for a good way to bypass magical defenses, and Melt Metal spell is really cool since we can melt any metal down with it. Next up is her equipment. Here's a list of each item, but we'll mention the ones that matter the most for her character. Gauntlet of Rust will be nice to break up metals, armor, weapons, and more. Third Eye Sense is an item to use clairvoyance at will to scout ahead. Boots of Tracelessness for those pesky rangers or trackers trying to follow Lumi around. Rogue Vest is an obvious choice for extra bonuses on her rogue abilities. Belt of Hidden Pouches to hide all sorts of objects and equipment. Cloak of Etherealness to escape to the ethereal plane quickly. And she can use the Amulet of Planes to escape to any plane of existence that she knows of. She will need a couple neat tools for her space activities. The Mirror of Opposition is a neat item that she can show to one foe and it will copy the creature one for one and attack that person it copied. Gem of Seeing will allow Lumi to use the effects of True Seeing spell, which will be important for many heists. Stat-wise, she will start with 10 Strength, 14 Dex, 10 Con, 16 Int, 9 Wiz, 16 Riz, and at the end of leveling, she can choose to increase Dexterity or Riz by 6 points based on either better dodging or powering spells and using Persuasion. As for her saves, she has 12 Fortitude, 11 Reflex, 17 Willpower. Her saves are a bit low for her level, but she will have many ways to counter these with the help of spells, abilities, and equipment. Her total BAB is 22 for a total of 4 attacks per round, and maybe 5 with haste. But her alignment is chaotic good. The last and most important stat, HP, probably our squishiest character yet, with a total of 186. She's got a lot going on here, and I can say that every item and ability that she has obtained will allow her to be one of the best thieves in all the planes. How did I do? Is there anything you think I missed? And if Lumi wasn't a spell thief, what would you have given her as a class? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Vtubers into D&D characters.